it's Corrine for Cut at Home, and today I'm sharing a frame with you that I added some of the Angel Craft premium vinyl to it. I'm taking an old frame. As you can see here, it's an ugly wood frame and it's an 8x10, I believe. I'm going to take off the back and discard that since I no longer need it. I will set the glass aside, and now I'm using some acrylic gesso in white to add a couple coats of paint to it. In between each coat, I do use my heat gun to help the drying time a little bit faster. I don't have a lot of patience when it comes to painting and waiting for it to dry. So now I'm just, like I said, doing 2 coats of this because I plan on spray painting it. So this will give it a good primer for the spray paint to adhere to. So here's 2 coats of paint. It actually turned out really pretty. And now I will take it outside and spray paint it. And in the meantime, while that's drying, I'm using my premium vinyl in the white matte. This is the 12x6 vinyl roll, and I'm cutting it off to 5 inches. I'm using a design from the Silhouette online store. I'll have the design number on Cut at Home's blog, so if you're interested, check that out. And now I've cut it out from the Cameo. I do have another video where I go into more detail of how to use the Cameo, how to cut out vinyl. I'll link that in the description box below if you're interested. But it's very easy to cut out vinyl. And now I'm just burnishing it down, making sure that all of it is pressed down onto the backing sheet. And now I'm going to weed the vinyl, which just means I'm taking away all the negative parts that I don't need, which really is very simple to do. I'm using my Tim Holtz paper piercer to do that. And you just want to take it slow and be careful when you first pull it off and watch all your letters to make sure none of them come up with it. I did have one of the L's come up, but it was very simple. I just laid it back on the backing sheet. You can see exactly where it belongs. So now I will go through and take out all the vinyl that I don't need, all the middle of every letter. And I speed this up quite a bit. But again, it's very simple to do. I think maybe it took me, I'm sure, less than 10 minutes to do the entire saying. And when you're cutting it from the vinyl, you just want to make sure to change your cut settings to vinyl, and it'll tell you what blade depth to change your blade to, and will also change your speed and pressure. So it's very simple to cut this out. And the Angel Craft vinyl cuts out like butter. It's so smooth. It cuts out so nice on any of your die cutting machines, even your Sizzix. So now that I weeded that, I'm cleaning off my glass with some glass cleaner, making sure that there's no oils or dust on it. And now I'm using the Angel Craft transfer tape. This is 6x50. It's transfer paper. And this to me is a must-have. When you're working with vinyl, it makes it so simple to use. So I'm just cutting down the size that I need. And what I like to do is just work on one end slowly at a time and just kind of burnish it as I'm rolling it down. And you can use any type of scraper or anything you have. I like to use this scraper that I have, and also a brayer usually to press it down, and even my fingers as well. So now when you peel that back, it will stick to the transfer paper. What I decided to do is I printed that same saying out just from my printer, and I'm going to use some removable adhesive and try and line it up as best as I can using my grid mat in the back, and then I will add my vinyl on top using that as a guide. And it worked out very well. I had to adjust it a little bit, but once I got it where I wanted, then I was able to put it on nicely. So now I'm just checking it, holding it up to the light, making sure that I'm happy where it's at before I really burnish it down. And now that I'm happy, I'm going to use my brayer and my scraping tool and press it down. And then you simply want to remove the vinyl. You want to take it really slow when you do so. And I also will use my scraper to kind of make sure all the words in this are down as I'm pulling it up. So I'm using the scraper tool and also my fingers and just making sure that they're pressed down as I'm pulling it up. It came off very nicely. A couple of them wanted to pull up with the transfer paper, but just by holding them down as I pulled up on it, I was able to get them to release and stick to the glass, no problem. So now I'm taking that non-stick sheet and just burnishing it down one more time to make sure. So here's the finished frame. I was really happy with how it turned out. I used this Krylon Color Master I got from Walmart in Blue Ocean Breeze. And I didn't need to spray paint the back of it. I just sprayed the front of it. Again, making sure that it's clean. I decided to pull out those metal closures because you could see them through the front of the glass. So instead, I'm just going to use a very little bit of E6000 to adhere my glass down. And I want to use a little bit because I do not want it squishing out the edges to where you see it from the front. So I put it on a non-stick mat and then used a popsicle stick. And then I added something heavy to it and let it sit for, I think, about 3 hours. You really want to let it sit overnight, but again, I'm not very patient when it comes to that. I just like to finish. So now I am using my hot glue, adding some flat back pearls around the edge of the frame. I will add a few flower clusters and leaves. I will add all the products that I used in the description box along with Cut at Home's blog. So I hope you stop by the blog, check it out. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment, and please find me on Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, and my blog spot, all at Corene's Creations. Thanks for watching. Links for Cut at Home will be in the description box below.